To replace the contact points on your bObsweep PetHair, you'll need a Phillips head screwdriver, the flathead screwdriver included in Bob's box, and a new set of contact points. Before starting, turn Bob's side power switch off and remove his dustbin. You will find the contact points on the inside of Bob. Next, flip Bob over onto a flat surface and remove his main brush using the flathead screwdriver. If you have an older version of Bob, his main brush may be held in place by a Phillips head screw. Keep all screws and parts removed from Bob safely aside, as they will be needed for reassembly. There are 7 screws on Bob's underside that hold his cover together. Depending on your model, there may be only 6 screws. Remove these screws with a Phillips head screwdriver. 2 screws are located on either side of the front wheel. 1 screw is to the right of the main brush motor, 2 more are on either side of the dustbin, and the final 2 screws are located in the brush compartment. Bob's cover is no longer connected, so hold his top and bottom together as you carefully flip him back onto his wheels. Grip Bob's cover from the back and lift up to expose his mainboard. To completely separate Bob from his cover, slide the power inlet out and tuck it somewhere safe to avoid compressing its wires. Next, disconnect the 4 circuit plugs keeping Bob's cover attached. If you have an older model of Bob, there may only be 3 plugs. 2 circuit plugs are at the lower edge of the mainboard, near Bob's wheels. And 2 more are at the top of the mainboard, attached to Bob's bumper. Now Bob's cover is completely detached. To access the dustbin's contact points, you will need to remove the wheel cover. Remove the 6 screws securing the cover onto Bob. You may wish to lift and move the main brush motor out of the way to reach one of these screws. 2 are next to the mainboard. 2 are on either side of the left wheel, 1 above and 1 below. Lastly, 2 more screws are on the right wheel, 1 above and 1 below. Once all 6 screws are removed, lift the wheel cover up and unplug it from the mainboard. Place it aside for now. Keep the wheel springs safely on hand for later reassembly. For ease of access, you may wish to place the power switch and left and right wheels aside. It may also help to prop Bob's back up for the rest of the repair. There are 5 more screws to remove to access the contact points. Remove all and lift the main brush compartment's plastic barrier. Then, slide Bob's contact points out of their spaces and follow their wiring to the correct circuit plug on the mainboard. The circuit plug may be situated differently depending on your bObsweep model. Remove the old circuit plug and connect your new one in the open space. Feed the wiring back underneath the mainboard, toward Bob's back. Place Bob's contact points back in their spaces so that the black wire is on the left. Push down to ensure that each contact point sits flat in its space. The rest of the wiring should be fed toward Bob's right wheel. Hold down the contact points as you replace their holder. Align the holder with all of Bob's screw posts without compressing the wiring underneath. Push each contact point in as you hold the main brush barrier on Bob to ensure the contact points have not shifted out of place. Then reinstall all of the barrier's 5 screws. With the back of Bob still tilted up, replace the left and right wheels if you have moved them. Replace the 2 springs on top of the wheels. Plug the wheel cover back onto the main board. Then carefully align the cover with the screw posts on Bob. Make sure the springs on top of the wheels do not move out of place as you push the cover down. When the cover's flat against Bob, reinstall all of its 6 screws. Hold the cover in place as you do so. Remember to replace the power switch. Replace the main brush motor if you have removed it before you begin closing Bob. Reconnect all circuit plugs from the cover back onto the main board. 2 connect to the top edge of the main board, and 2 more connect to the bottom edge. Lastly, slide the power inlet back into its space on the cover. Align the cover's edges precisely and ensure it lies flat. Then flip Bob over onto a flat surface. Ensure that no wires are compressed in the main brush compartment, and double check that no wires are visible at the edges of the bumper. If so, take a step back and lift the cover to tuck the wires into the appropriate spaces inside Bob. Once the wires are all safely tucked away and the cover is aligned properly, reinstall the 6 or 7 screws securing the cover. Reinstall the main brush and dustbin before your next use, and Bob is completely reassembled. Flip the side power switch back on and congratulations, you've just replaced Bob's contact points. Happy cleaning!